Welcome to tonight's webinar on Noteflight in Google Classroom. Thank you all so much for attending live, and for those who are watching afterwards, we're really excited to show you all the exciting benefits of Noteflight Learn and Google Classroom. So without further ado, we will jump right in. Just one housekeeping note: if you have questions, please just load up the questions in your panel on the side, and at the end I'll stop and answer all your questions after I go through a quick demonstration. So let's get started. So Noteflight Learn is the product that we're talking about tonight. Just to clarify, regular basic free Noteflight accounts are not able to integrate with Google Classroom. Neither are Noteflight Premium accounts. It's Noteflight Learn that does the integration, and you'll learn why as we go through tonight. I'll finish up with this as well, but if you're not already using Noteflight Learn or you haven't tried it, you can do a free trial right on noteflight.com/learn, or you can go ahead and quote or purchase right here. Now, let's start with Google Classroom. I'll show you what a full integration looks like, and then I'll show you how we set it up and how you get there. So here's a Google account, and I have a bunch of music classes. And so this is my Google Classroom. So what Noteflight Learn does once integrated is it allows your Noteflight Learn site, which is this URL up here. You'll have a separate site where all of your students log in using their Google, and it will actually have all of your classes in Noteflight Learn as groups ready to go. And you can do assignments to classes, and you can organize your students and share music with them just like that. So I'll show an example of how to do an assignment. Let's go into the Noteflight Learn libraries, and let's find, to get started, in the free library, let's grab some content and make an exercise. So let's look at a composition exercise perhaps, and let's try number 3. Let's see what this one is. This library we talked about the last webinar is a free library that's included with your Noteflight Learn, and you can always pull different assignments from it and make them your own. So I'm going to check out a copy of this library, and we're going to turn this into an assignment for Google Classroom. So the instructions are already written in. Now, of course, these are all just templates. You can click and change these instructions however you want. You can add more notes, but this is an easy way for you to get started. And forgive my mouse, I have this side panel over here for GoToWebinar that you can't see. Now, when you notice as a teacher, when you go and score details, any musical score in Noteflight that you're looking at, you can actually create Google Classroom assignment. So in order to do that, you simply go down here, create assignment, and it will actually, in the panel, let you select how to create this. So you select a class that you've already integrated. So I'm going to do music theory since it's a composition exercise, and we're going to give it a title. We'll call it theory, please. You could give a description here. Now, as far as the type, we default to activity template. This means that every student who opens this will get their own unique copy. This is almost certainly what you want every single time. But for example, if you wanted to give an assignment where you want all students to see the same score and not be able to edit it for whatever reason, you could make it view only or comment or give them all edit access to the same score, but you almost always want activity template, so you don't have to touch this. You can also give it a due date. Let's make this due tomorrow, and you save. So all of this assignment creation was done right in the Noteflight score details panel. And then I'm going to go back to my Google class. I'll refresh this page. And I believe I put this in music theory. I did. So let's go ahead and put it in music theory. And look, there it is right there. So it automatically wrote this directly to your Google class. And let's see what students are in this. Good. So that's how simple it is. You find any score you've created or opened in Noteflight Learn. You simply create the assignment, and now you see a verification. This is me as the teacher looking at this, and there's a little Google verification that shows me this is the class, this is the assignment, and it's a copy. Now, let's go in as a student and complete this. So blink your eyes. Ta-da! Look, I am now a student, and you know because there's an S in the upper right-hand corner. Now look, you can already see that this assignment is showing up for the student, and it's due tomorrow. So student's going to go in their music theory class, they see the assignment, and they're going to open this right up. Now it's going to have them sign in. Again, it takes them right to the assignment. This student hasn't signed in yet, so we're just going to sign in using Google. Once integrated, all of your students will sign into Noteflight Learn using the Google they already use for everything else. Now, here's me as a student. Let me go ahead and drag notes to do a new melody. So let's go ahead and just do this real quick. You get the idea. So I'm just going to save that. Let's pretend that's enough. Now, the student in the score details panel can turn this in. So in this case, they'll go ahead and when they're finished, they'll just turn in right from Noteflight. It turns in the assignment. Now blink your eyes one more time. I'm back to teacher. So let me go as a teacher. Let me go back into my class. We'll let our internet spin just a little bit here. Let me refresh the page. I saw it go. Yep, so now there's one turned in. So as a teacher, just like every other Google Classroom assignment, you can see what's turned in. As a teacher, you can see the student's work. So as a teacher, you will click this. It opens right up. Now you are the teacher viewing the student's version. You can look at it, check it out, and then you can go right back in Google and you can give it a grade. Oh, it showed up as ungraded. Let's make it a 100-point assignment. Yes, I do want to upgrade the point value. Right, so I can go in to the student and give them a 9. I'll give them a 50 because they only did half of it. How about that? Let's be real mean, right? So they got a 50 out of 100, and that's their grade. You can also return this to the student, right? So you can return it right back, and you can give comments like, do the rest, please. I'll be nice tonight. So, and I can return it to the student, and then at that point, they can see, they'll get notified in their stream that it was returned, and then I'll flip back to student, blink your eyes. I'm going to refresh the student's work, and you'll notice that the student has the opportunity again to turn in because it's been returned. So that's the integration with Google Classroom. We think, oh, I got muted for a second. Sorry about that. So that's our integration for Google Classroom as once it's completed. Your students log into the site with Google. They don't have to worry about separate passwords or anything else. They log right in with Google. You as a teacher can create assignments right in the panel from any Noteflight score, including content library scores, and assign it directly to your classes, and students can open from the class and it takes them right to their assignment. They complete it, they turn it in. So it's a really nice seamless integration. Next thing I'm going to show is how to add and manage users and how to sync up the site with Google. And then after that, I'll take it back and I'll set up a site from scratch so you can see how to set it up from the first time. So let's go in and now show how to sync up your students in Google in your Noteflight Learn site with your Google Classroom. So going back, let me go back into teacher mode. And I'm back in teacher for school. Let me just go back into my main areas, Noteflight. Now this is sort of your home as a teacher in Noteflight Learn. Again, you have your site, you can create scores, you see all the scores you have. So I'm going to go into manage site. Now you as a teacher see this, students don't see this. And by the way, all teachers in this site can do the same functionality. So you can have multiple teachers, even from multiple schools, all in the same site, and each teacher can independently manage their classes, which is really great. So this is where you manage your site, and you'll see over here there's a members area. So you want to go check out your members, and here's all the students that are in the site, and you'll see them all by name. And you can also see all the teachers in the site. There's lots of teachers in the site as well. So I have different options. I can manage classes or sync classes. So I'll start by managing. This is also how you set up for the first time, but I think it's also good to show. So what you do is you just click on the classes that you have in Google and you select how you want them added to Noteflight. So right now, Noteflight's showing the classes that are already selected and synced to your class, synced to your site. Now, the way students are added is every student in advanced band in Google Classroom is added for access to the Noteflight Learn site. So all you do is add the classes, and every student that's already inside those classes automatically has access to Noteflight. And we do count duplicate. We know you have students that might be in more than one class, so we only add them once, right? And we even show you right here how many total users will be, right? And we even say if it uses multiple classes, they only occupy one seat. So what this does on the left is this is actually pulling from your Google Classroom once integrated. And you can see I haven't actually added every class. So if I want to add beginning band brass, I could just click this. And now it's going to count those users and say, look, there's 3 users in this class. And it only added 1 extra because 2 of them probably are already in the site. And you can sync this up. So this, if you want to remove a class, if it's next year or you want to get rid of a class, we can take orchestra away. So you just select which ones you want, and then you just hit update, and Noteflight is calling Google right now. Hey Google, what's up? What you doing? And they're going to go ahead and sync up the membership, and it will verify for you. So the good thing about the way we've built this is that we want to make sure that as you remove classes, it's going to verify exactly what students are going to be added or removed, so you don't accidentally like remove a student who still has music that they want, right? At any point you can be sure. If you do, it's okay. When you add that students back, we just reactivate the account they already had, so they won't lose anything, right? And you can manage your members all year long. You can put students in. If you have semester-based classes, you can add classes, take other classes away. But the point is everything is done from the Google Classroom side, meaning that all of your member management and the students that have access to your Noteflight Learn site is all based on who you have access in your classes, right? So at this point, sometimes this takes a minute or two. We are just calling Google and waiting for a response. And sometimes, you get in a long line of calls to Google asking for information. So sometimes this process takes a few seconds. Sometimes it takes a minute. It's really not up to us at this point. We're just sort of waiting for Google to send back the information we're requesting. But once it does, it'll line up. While that's doing that, I'll show you what sync does as well. So manage classes lets you add and remove classes as you need. But let's say that you don't need to add or remove classes. All you have to do is, let's say you've added or removed students to existing classes and you just want to sync up the membership. A student comes in and you add a new student to a class. You don't re-add the class to Noteflight. You simply just go in and say, hey, let's sync classes. So you can press this button at any time. It actually does the same call. And it just says, hey, Google, what you got? Here's what I got. It pairs it up and it tells you what the difference is going to be. So this is sort of the window you'll get. So it says 23 members, because I'm taking away these 2 classes and I'm adding this one, it says 0 members will be added, probably because these 3 people already are in here. It's just going to add the class. But it looks like 23 members will be removed. And you can kind of verify what this is before you proceed. So I'm not going to go ahead, but that's essentially how you sync up membership. So whatever you have in Google, Noteflight will sync. The one thing that we do on purpose is that if you make a change in Google, we don't automatically pull that in and remove or add students. We want to make sure that you have the power as a teacher to control exactly who has access and no one gets automatically deleted. I would really hate for a student to have some music in their account and you unsync the class or take them out of the Google class and all of a sudden they lose access to all their music. So they'll have access to Noteflight until you choose to sync up. Now, and that's what sync is. Now, again, every teacher will be able to sync their classes. So if you have other teachers come on board, you can actually, as a teacher, invite any other teacher you want, and you simply just put in their email. It has to be the same domain as the site's set up with, right? So whatever your school Google domain is, you add teachers and you'll put in their name, you'll simply hit add, and then those teachers will be able to log in and sync their own classes as well. Pretty cool. Now, just to sort of recap, the idea here is that everything's all the member management and assignments is controlled in Google. This is the same Noteflight Learn site that you've always had. It's the same features as Noteflight Learn as we went over in last week's webinar. You have all the same benefits of how to use Noteflight. It is Noteflight Learn. The only difference is that the member management is done by logging in through Google, and all the students are added by basically syncing up your Google class. So that's sort of the main difference there. Now, while I'm talking, I'm also preparing the next part of this demo, which is I'm going to go in and show you how to add a new student from scratch in Noteflight. And so I'm going to go back in and I'm going to walk through the process. If you're starting Noteflight with Google Classroom for the first time and you need to build a site and you need to go ahead and get all this set up, I'll show you exactly what that looks like. And I will start right from Noteflight. So I'm going to sign in, and now I'm going to sign in using Google. And this is a person who's already bought Noteflight Learn. I'm going to sign in as teacher 11. Very original, right? Our demo account, we have to kind of name everything in a certain way. So now I'm teacher 11. I'm a brand new teacher here. And so these are the instructions you'll get, but I'm going to set up a Google class. So I'm going to build a new site. It's going to ask me if it's LTI or Google. Of course, I'll say Google. And then I'm going to call it my new Google site. I'm going to do T11 just so I remember. Notice, by the way, as you build a site in Noteflight Learn, that the name is also the URL. Now, again, you'll probably just post this URL for students to click on and have them bookmark it, so the name might not matter. But if you want to make it something really memorable, easy to remember for students, you could do that as well. But I'm just going to give this a name, and this is the URL where now the entire thing will exist, and it has that .gc because it's configured to work with Google Classroom. And then I'm just going to add site. That's really all you have to do. And then once you visit the site, you have now built a Noteflight Learn site. Super simple, but now we just have to add members. So you'll go to Manage Site, back to members, just like I showed before. There's no one here already except you as the teacher admin, right? So we'll manage classes, and it's already calling Google, and so there's only a couple classes in here, and I made this small so it'd work here. So this is the Google Classroom site of that teacher. They have a music class and they have another music class. So a very simple setup. I'm going to go ahead and say I would like to integrate both of these. Thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead and update our membership. We're going to call Google, and Google, their Noteflight's going to say, hey Google, how many people in these classes, right? So there's 2 members here, 2 here. Now, sometimes people add 8 and see 6 and wonder what goes on. Remember, you as a teacher are in both of these classes, so you're not counted because you're already a member of the site. That's why you see that, because every class membership count includes you as the teacher. So you'll hit OK, and we'll just add them up. And Noteflight will sync all this up. Now, the cool thing is, while this is syncing, you can be working in Noteflight. You can go in and create a new score. You can explore the libraries. You can do all kinds of things here. So now I'm a brand new site, brand new teacher. I've got new students in here, and soon enough, you'll see here's your music classes that are already synced up, right? So you'll see the my music class and my other music class, and you'll be able to create assignments, and these students can go ahead and log in and rock and roll. So from that, it's pretty simple integration, right? Again, last week's webinar went into a lot of detail on how to use Noteflight, how to use the editor, how to use Noteflight Learn, the content libraries. You have all of that. So tonight is really about the setup, what you can do with Google, how easy it is for students to log in, the assignment flow back and forth, managing membership, and being able to set it up for the first time. And really in 20 minutes, or 19 minutes, we started a minute late, my apologies, we've been able to go ahead and create an assignment, complete it as a student, turn it back in, grade it, send it back. We've managed membership from an existing site, and we've created a brand new site from scratch, and we've done all of this. So it's really pretty easy once you get it going. From here, what I'll do is I'll pause, and I'm happy to take any questions you have and demonstrate anything else you'd like to see. For those of you that have seen enough, I will just remind you that you can go right to noteflight.com/learn, and you can sign up for a free trial right here, or you can go ahead and do a quote, or you can purchase with a PO right away. When you sign up for that free trial, am I signed in? It'll request a demo. It does ask you integration options, and it says Google Classroom. So you'll actually tell us when you sign up for the demo, and we'll know to give you a demo that's configured for Google already. So you'll be all set. So just fill out this form, and you will be all set to start using Noteflight. So for that, I thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I will start taking questions.